Hey, you're listening to the DIY Marketing School podcast. I'm your host and your marketing coach, Melanie Diane Howe. And today, I'm going to encourage you to stop leading with the negative and unapologetically embrace your awesomeness. Well, hello, my friends. So today I'm putting on my mentor Mel hat. I'm going to talk about something that might feel a little bit icky because you might have to do some self-work. You might say, as I'm describing some things here, you might be like, oh man, I so do that. That's so me. Oh, she's so talking about me. I want you to know this. I'm not talking about anyone specifically. I'm actually talking about so many of us, literally, including myself. And the topic I'm going to talk about today is something I refer to as leading with the negative. And I'll explain a little bit more about what I mean by that. But I feel comfortable talking to you about this because I have so been in these shoes. I have done this. I have made these mistakes, and I have recognized it, and I have modified things. I've made changes. I have made an effort I've made it a point to not do it. And here's the thing I'll say. I want to lead in and I want to let you know, again, this is something that a lot of people do. They do it in their online marketing, especially live videos where I see it the most. And then I also see it in person, in personal lives even. And I'll say this, it is something I see women do much more than men. And I think a lot of it comes down to the challenges that women in society generally face, which is us being okay with being awesome. Like we're just not sometimes comfortable with our awesomeness. And even so much so that sometimes we even downplay our awesomeness. Have you ever had someone give you a compliment and your response, instead of just saying thank you, was actually to tell the person basically why they were wrong? Like, has someone ever said to you, oh my gosh, your hair looks so gorgeous today? And you're like, oh, I didn't even wash it. Or I really loved, I love that thing that you did. I loved that email that you did. Or you are just so incredible. I love your stuff, whatever. And we immediately go to this place where we want to discount what they say instead of just being like, oh, thank you so much. It can feel awkward when people give us compliments, but we should understand what is behind that. We should recognize that it's there, and we should do the self-work to move past it. So I'm going to talk to you about leading with the negative, but what I just described was actually responding with the negative. And so it's the same, I think it comes from the same place. And it is a place of insecurity. It's a place of worthiness. It's a place of deep stuff that I don't want to go into too much. I'm simply saying these things, and I want you to know that you are in good company if you do this. And if you do what I just described, you're in good company because so many of us struggle with these things. And it is a touchy, feely, icky topic, and it is really important. And that's why I want to talk to you about it today. And I feel good about talking to you about it because I have so done this. I still catch myself sometimes doing it. I've become way better at it. I would say probably something that I've started to really recognize and change over the last 10 years, and especially more so in the last 5 years. And I want to share with you what this looks like in your business. And I just want you to become aware of it. Even if you weren't already aware, I want you to now become aware of it. And I simply want you to make the commitment to yourself and to others that you're going to work hard to not discount your awesomeness. Okay? All right. So let me just go into a little bit more detail about what it really looks like to lead with the negative in your business. I'll also share some similar ways that I think people act that I think is actually okay as long as it's not overdone. So leading with the negative, I'm going to use the example of live videos because this is truly where I see it the most. whether it be a live video on Facebook in a group, on your personal page, or even a live video on Instagram, or even in your stories, in your Facebook stories or your Instagram stories. So these are definitely the areas that I see this the most. And I think a lot of it, of course, has to do with, live video is certainly more raw. People go live sometimes spontaneously. Other times, I think that people know that they don't have to be 100% polished, and it's a more approachable way to start getting going with video. Again, it is intended to be a bit raw and very natural. But I also think that doing a live video is uncomfortable. And I think people are naturally uncomfortable and they feel insecure. You can see yourself on the screen, whether you're on a computer or whether you're on a mobile device, you can see yourself. And let's face it, there are times when the selfie mode of the camera, if we don't have it in the right spot or if the lighting's not great, sometimes we don't feel like it's our best version. And I get that, but I want you to let go of that. So an example of leading with the negative is when you start your live video and as you're getting started, you immediately start messing with your hair and you're immediately messing with it and you just start talking about, oh, my hair looks awful today, or, oh, I haven't even taken a shower yet, or, oh, so sorry. You basically are apologetic. You have this apologetic tone about the way you look and your appearance. And it could even be the clothes you're wearing. It could be that you're in the car and you just got done working out and you're apologizing for your appearance. This is the most common thing that I see when people lead with the negative. It has to do with their looks, their hair, their outfit, whatever it might be, their makeup, whether they have makeup on or not. And they immediately start out with this apologetic tone. And I say leading with the negative because you're starting out with you're talking down about yourself. And again, it's an apologetic tone. It's not fun. It's an apologetic tone. And I see this a lot with women when they're doing any kind of live video or any kind of video like that. And again, I think it's because we feel insecure. We feel uncomfortable. And the reason I want to point this out is because I think probably everyone's probably done it at least once. Right? I mean, it is uncomfortable. And sometimes we are taken off guard and it just is a natural thing. As I mentioned, that women do more than men, but guys, some of you do it too. But the reason I'm pointing it out is because I want you to start thinking about it. I actually want you to go back and I want you to look at some of your live videos and I want you to do a little audit. And I want you to be honest with yourself and I want you to watch and I want you to see if you are habitually leading in with some sort of negative comment or something, right? And just simply recognize it and let's just make it a point that we're going to not do that. Because here's what happens when you do that. When you start out a conversation, and I'm going to say that this applies to presenting on stage too. This applies to presenting in person, doing trainings. This applies to how you show up at a networking event. This applies to how you show up with your friends, how you show up with your clients. Because while I'm using the live video as an example, I also see this frequently when I attend networking events, especially if the dress code is a dressier dress code or a more formal, like the women are in dresses and the men are in suits and tuxes. Women are just very uncomfortable. They are comparing themselves to everybody. They are chugging the Comparschlager and they are just getting wasted on all the negative self-talk inside their heads. And they feel more comfortable if they point something out that they're feeling insecure about. That's exactly what this is all about. They are trying to point something out before you notice it and you can maybe secretly be judging them. And so that is what a lot of this has to do with. But here's the deal. Even if, let's say, there's a stain on your dress or your hair hasn't been washed and it's looking a little funky on your live video, you have a message. You have a reason why you are showing up either at the event or on this video. And when you lead in with the negative, you take the attention off of what that is. You are moving the attention into this negative aspect. People probably didn't even notice that you hadn't washed your hair. And if they did, do they really care? Does that take away from the gifts that you're about to share? Does it take away from the whole purpose of your live video? No, it doesn't, and it shouldn't. And let's say, for example, someone does care that you are about to, share an inspirational message after you just got done working out, your hair's all crazy, you have no makeup on, and you're looking a little greasy because you just worked your butt off in the gym, but you're about to drop some information that could change their life. If they can't get past the way you look in that moment to hear your gift, then screw them. Be done, okay? You need to let that go. It doesn't matter. And if that person is going to judge you, then guess what? If you're going to go live and that's how you're going to do it, then that person watching your video who is not able to look past that, they are not your person. They are not part of your people. And they need to go find somebody else that's going to deliver the message in a different way. Somebody else who isn't going to go live the way that you go live, and they have their own style. And that style may be always makeup, always, hair's all perfect, cute little outfits, whatever it might be, perfect little setting, perfect lighting. That might be a better fit for the kind of person they need to follow. And we're not going to judge them for their reasons for judging you. We're just going to go ahead and move on from it. We're going to divorce ourselves from needing to impress that person. Okay. So that is a big mindset thing that has to happen. So back to what I was describing. I want you to start to think about how you're showing up, and are you one of those people that tends to lead in with the negative? Again, whether it be in your online content or at your networking events, or how you show up with your friends, or how you even show up with your husband, or your wife. Are you one of those people that when you feel that insecurity or that thing or that outfit or that whatever it is that's making you not feel amazing and worthy, are you pointing that out to others before you can even start the conversation? And I want you to just sit with it. I want you to just take a deep breath. And I want you to know this doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. Okay? The reason I'm pointing it out is because I want you to look at it and I want you to become self-aware if this is happening. And then I want you to understand that when you do that, you are taking the attention off of the most amazing thing about you, which is your gifts, and it's you and the human that you are and the human that you are made to be. If you have a big pimple on your face, are people going to notice it? Most likely. Most likely they're going to notice it. There are going to be people that won't notice it. But when you call attention to it in that apologetic way and in that apologetic tone, all of a sudden my attention is now on your pimple and why you're apologizing. And it sort of just sets the stage. You quiet your voice, you quiet your gift when you do something like that. And so I just want you to just not even worry about it. Now, I do actually think that it is okay every once in a while to have a little bit of fun with some of these things. I do think that it's okay to have a little bit of fun with, like, if your hair is crazy, or, if you do have a pimple on your face, or if you, haven't had a chance, if you're in your pajamas, like, have a little fun with it. That's okay, but don't apologize for it. And that's the difference, because I do think that all these things make you more human. And sure, if you want to point it out every once in a while, don't do it every time. I do need you to make sure that you're not doing this every time. But have a little fun with it. Just be a little bit of a human, right? And be positive about it. Don't apologize. And so that's the difference. And so that, again, I think can make you more relatable, can make you approachable. And it there are times when if we are over polished all the time, we actually can be somewhat intimidating to our audience. And I want you to let that human side of you out. And so be raw, but have fun with your rawness. Don't apologize for it. That is the true message here. So, again, whether you are walking up on stage, meeting with a group of ladies, meeting new people, meeting clients, I don't care. No matter what's going on, you might have to do a little bit of work prior to walking into that moment, prior to clicking go live, prior to clicking record, prior to walking through the door. You need to just remind yourself you are worthy, you are amazing, and that when you receive compliments, you're going to say thank you. And also, you're going to tell yourself, I am not going to lead with the negative, and I am no longer going to apologize for the human that I am, the rawness that I am, because I am showing up for these people, and I am making a difference in their life. And I have nothing to apologize for in how I'm showing up in that aspect. Have fun with it, but stop apologizing for it. We're not going to lead with the negative anymore. Okay. So just a quick recap. I want you to think about what I said, and I want you to go back and I want you to really reflect on some situations. I also want you to look at any live video if you're doing live videos or any kind of videos at all. And I want you to look back and I want you to see how you're starting and how you're kicking these videos off. I'm going to tell you that I'm not perfect either. There are times that I do it as well. I catch myself. And I want you to just move forward, and I want you to be thinking about this, and I want you to just catch yourself. If you do it, catch yourself and just simply say, okay, I'm now self-aware. I'm going to work hard to remind myself how awesome I am, and it's okay to be awesome in whatever aspect, however I look, however I am, however I feel. And even if you walk into a situation and you're feeling a little insecure, then I just want you to take a deep breath and I want you to let it go. So if you've ever found yourself apologizing for your hair, your no makeup, your clothes, the bad lighting, the bad audio, your hoarse voice from being sick, anything, any of it, don't apologize. Don't apologize. Your gifts are worth giving, and I don't want anyone to be distracted from the amazing value that you can provide to people, even if you're at a social event and your presence is what that is. Don't distract anyone from all of that beauty and awesomeness. Okay? So that's what I got for you guys today. I know it's a little different. Little Mentor Mel coming out. Shout out to my B-schoolers. They know what Mentor Mel is. So I love being able to kind of get into these mindset things. And the reason why is because I know that a lot of you don't put yourselves out there because a lot of the things that hold you back are your insecurities. And especially when it comes to putting yourself in your content. And I'm a firm believer that we are in a human to human marketing world right now, especially as the online space gets even noisier and just the business world becomes what it is. People are starving for connection. And so I share some of these mindset things with you because they are so critical for you to also work on, in addition to your skills and your equipment and your content and understanding your customer and what they need from you and how you can help them and putting that in your content. The mindset piece is just as important. Because if you can't get the mindset right, or you can't get yourself used to being uncomfortable with yourself and how you look online or how you feel when you go live and all those things, then you're not going to be able to share your gifts with the world. And again, I am all about don't let your gifts go ungiven. And I think that when we limit ourselves and we limit our exposure online and how we show up in social media, we are limiting our reach. We are limiting the amount of people that we can help. And we're even limiting how we help people. And so this is why these topics are really important to me. And I usually have these conversations very one-on-one, whether it's someone that I've mentored who's talking to me or coming up to me at a conference and asking me questions or telling me where they're struggling. And I'm just in that super spontaneous moment, giving them, the little mentorship and the coaching, or whether it be one of my actual coaching clients. I do a lot of this one-on-one, and I'm really hoping that I can convert some of this messaging and still speak to you in these podcasts and in some of my videos on Instagram and in my Facebook group. I want to be able to help with the mindset stuff too. So the reason I'm sharing that is because I would really love your feedback on this episode specifically. And so I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you either in the DMs of any of my social channels, wherever you're connected to me, or I want you to send me an email to hello@melaniediane.com. Or even if it's a comment on one of the public threads about this podcast episode, if you feel comfortable commenting there, go for it. But I just want to hear from you. I want to hear the feedback from you. Is this working? Does it make sense? Did you have an aha moment? Did it not make sense? Did you disagree with stuff I said? I really want that feedback from you. It is absolutely going to help me help you even more. And I want to connect with you. And so I want to hear where you're struggling. I want to hear, if this is an area where you're noticing that you're doing it and you're not sure how to stop, or you want to get more comfortable with things. So any kind of feedback you can give to me around this topic, I would love, love, love to hear from you. So please reach out. Definitely. So Instagram, Melanie Diane. Obviously, Facebook, you can follow my Facebook page, Melanie Diane there. I've also got the Facebook group, DIY Marketing with Melanie. I'm on LinkedIn too. So shout out to LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. You can find me there as well, Melanie Diane Howe. And then, of course, shoot me an email at hello@melaniediane.com. I'd love to hear from you. So that's what I got, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing, whether you're on a run, in the shower, listening in the car. Don't know where you love to listen to this podcast. Those are definitely some of my favorite places to listen to podcast episodes, especially the shower. I always, every morning, listen to podcast episodes in the shower. And I hope you just, whatever you do next, I hope this was thought-provoking, helpful, and let it sit with you and do something really positive with it. But you know what I always say. In the meantime today, I want you to, 1, tell yourself how awesome you are, and then I want to make sure that you go be awesome.